Okay. I think the live stream has already begun. I am not seeing yet any movement on my other screen. So there, I think it just started. Okay. So hello and welcome. Good evening. Welcome back to our channel. Welcome back, everyone. Dito sa ating live stream for this evening, where we are going to be tackling several new developments and updates with regards to the Miss Universe announcement earlier this week regarding JKN Global partnering with Raul Rocha, which is a Mexican businessman, with regards to partnership and ownership of the Miss Universe pageant. We will be talking about the leak schedule based from a Thai travel tour regarding the Miss Universe schedules. And then we will also be tackling a couple of other things with regards to the Miss Universe Philippines and the nationals of the Miss Universe pageant. Okay, so welcome everyone. Welcome Ping. Thank you very much for always being the first one to comment in our live stream. And Mark Gonzalez is also here. Thank you very much for being part of the live stream discussions. And we have Sally Salen as well. Sabi niya, good evening Sir Jess, present po. So magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. So welcome back everyone to Sashes&Scripts, where we are going to be discussing in this live stream episode the Miss Universe developments that has been happening in the past week. So as you all know, there are a lot of mini pocket updates that has been going on, but the biggest of those is the announcement that the Miss Universe organization has now two co-owners with Raul Rocha, who is a businessman from Mexico, and as well as the owner of the local franchise of the Miss Universe Mexico, as well as Kun An, who is also the what do you call this? The lead partner in the business venture. Now, a lot of you are a little bit confused with what's going on. So let me just try to give you a backgrounder first on what happened. What is essentially the root root cause of all of this. As you all know, the Miss Universe organization, under the ownership of Kun An, has always been in um, precarious situation over the last year when she took over the ownership from IMG. In her in her quest to own the pageant, she bought the Miss Universe organization for around 20 million US dollars in uh, uh, in late 2023, and then had full ownership by then. And a day or several days before the Miss Universe in El Salvador last November, there was an announcement that Kun An and her company, JKN Global, was filing for bankruptcy. And that started, the debate with regards to the future of the pageant, what's going on. Will it survive? Will it be sold to other business partners, or it's going to be sold in full with other entrepreneurs and businessmen who wanted to purchase the organization? Now, a day before the announcement that the Miss Universe organization is going to be co-owned by Raul Rocha, there was a pronouncement on, I believe, the social media of JKN Global that um, the Miss Universe is not being sold to anyone or to any party. And I think dito nagkaroon ng a little bit of confusion, because a lot of people were thinking that, okay, if that's the case, if that's the official pronouncement from the organization, then how come there is a lot of things, a lot of rumors is still floating around with regards to the Miss Universe organization floating in social media that it's going to be sold? And then the day after, we have the official announcement that the Miss Universe organization is now being co-owned by the Mexican businessman Raul Rocha alongside Kun An. I think it's better to break down first the how to call this, the what we know with regards to uh, the sale of shares of the Miss Universe organization, because we all know that the parent company of the Miss Universe organization, which is JKN Global, is in need of restructuring in terms of its debts. We all know that since last year, they have been struggling with regards to liquidity for them to be able to pay off their debtors. And it was around, I believe, around September of last year that there were some loans that needed to be payment and had to be renegotiated in terms of payments and schedules for that. It so happened that a day before the Miss Universe pageant came about the news that the Miss Universe, that JKN Global filed for debt rehabilitation with the Thai authorities, Thai financial authorities, and find a way in order for them to be able to restructure around their debts so that they can pay on a regular basis. And it was said in news reports that when Kun An sold 50% of her shares of the Miss Universe organization, she sold the 50% share to Raul Rocha for the amount of 16 million US dollars. As you all know, if you translate that in how do you call this, in Thai baht, that was around if I'm not mistaken, around 500 plus million Thai baht. So it could be used in order for the parent organization to essentially pay off their debts because of the amount that it has been sold. This is not the first time. Let me just reiterate that this is not the first time that the Miss Universe organization has had a co-owner, because during Donald Trump's era, the Miss Universe organization is 51% co-owned by NBC Universal, and the remaining 49% is owned by Donald Trump. So that means that NBC Universal has a hand in the decision making for the production of the Miss Universe pageant. That also means that this is not the first time that there are two entities that owns the Miss Universe pageant. Now, let us now move into the implications of this, because there's a lot of speculations and a lot of how do you say this, a lot of assumptions with regards to the future of the pageant. Now, first, what we can say is that because of the amount that the Miss Universe shares has been sold is tantamount around 16 million US dollars, it means that Kun An can essentially, pay off her debts and not be on a financial bind. So, ibig sabihin nito, kung ano man yung pagkakautang niya in among her mga loaners and debtors in Thailand, pwede na niyang unti-unting bayaran yung mga pagkakautang na ito with the money that she gained with the sale of the 50% shares. It also means that financially, the Miss Universe organization can now be looking forward to a more stable na financial situation with regards to its parent organization. Ibig sabihin that there is little or less speculations with regards to, to the future of the pageant. So, hindi na tayo magkakaroon ng malaking pangamba whether the future of the pageant would continue or will it survive because as you can see, Kun An has been very smart with her business negotiations in order for her to make sure that the Miss Universe organization survives. I think that's a very good update because it means that the owner has a very good business acumen so that she's able to navigate yung mga financial problems na hindi naaapektuhan ang Miss Universe organization. It also means that there is a lot of opportunities of growth now because of the dual ownership of the pageant. Now, what do I mean by bigger and better opportunities for the Miss Universe organization and the pageant itself? Now, because there are two people or two organizations that co-owns the pageant, the reach is bigger, definitely, because there is one headquarters or there is one owner who can focus on the North and Latin American market, and there is one other organization or one other partner who can focus with Asia, Europe, and Africa. So that means split yung what do you call this? Yung management ng Miss Universe by regions. And this makes it a better na way of managing the pageant because if in case that magkaroon ng okay, Jira Bago says audio. Is there a problem with? Let me double check. Okay. Because on my end, I am okay. Because on my end, I can hear my audio well. Okay, so maybe G, you need to check your audio. Okay, so as I was saying, let me go back doon sa ating points because there are now two people who are heading the organization. There is a much better way of managing the finances of the pageant because having two people or two organizations or two heads working to make sure that the business stays afloat means that may konting check and balance nang mangyayari. Hindi yung tipong magkakaroon tayo ng problema on finances simply because one partner is overspending and then the other is not checking that out. I think there will be a better communications, hopefully, between the two because we've seen that happen with the ownership when Donald Trump and NBC Universal was in place a decade back. This also means that because Raul Rocha is focusing on the North American and Latin American markets as well as the Caribbean, Kun An can now be more free to make moves in the rest of the world, whether it's Asia, Europe, or Africa. She can now be able to focus her energies with, the management of the Miss Universe brand in that part of the world. It also means that because there are two heads making progress in two different areas of the world, there are bigger opportunities for reach in terms of the Miss Universe brand. So this might also mean that Raul Rocha might be able to, convince more Caribbean countries to participate with the Miss Universe pageant, while Kun An can focus on the rest of Asia and Europe to have them more in the more candidates into the pageant. So ibig sabihin nito, parang may kanya-kanyang toka and therefore hindi magkakaroon ng headache when it comes to inviting more people to join into the pageant. It also means better business growth because if the Miss Universe organization is going to venture out on merchandise, on services, products and services for the Miss Universe brand, then they can have headquarters on both North America and in Asia in order for them to be able to cater with opening businesses like spas or distribution centers for their skincare and their Miss Universe water and etc. So whatever business venture that the Miss Universe organization is going to go into, it's easier now to distribute products and services on different markets because there are headquarters na pwedeng lapitan ng mga business partners nila all over the world. So that gives the Miss Universe organization, more incentives to invest into the financial and merchandising and business opportunities side of the business. Ibig sabihin nito, hindi lang sila kumikita on the pageant business itself, but they're also having, additional products and services that ties into the Miss Universe brand. So essentially, this could be a potential, huge money-making business for the Miss Universe organization. Now, there is also, with this kind of change in ownership and leadership, it also means that there are changes in the organizational structure. And also, based on the press release that the Miss Universe organization has made, we will be seeing a number of changes. And that includes, having 3 different headquarters for the Miss Universe brand. And I will be explaining that a little bit later. I want first to go into the press release and let's break down bit by bit the the information that is laid out there. Okay, so let me just read some of the highlights of the Miss Universe press release. Okay, so the Miss Universe organization and its owner, the Thailand-based JKN Global Group, are excited to announce a new partnership with Mexican business conglomerate Legacy Holding, which is headed by Raul Rocha. This strategic investment for growth will build the brand's international profile and allow for new product and marketing opportunities in a global market. Longtime pageant fan Raul Rocha Cantu, Legacy Holdings board president and CEO, joins JKN Global's founder and CEO and Jakaphong, Jakrajutatip, as co-owner of the merged privately held company JKN Legacy. Rocha Cantu is also the franchise owner of the Miss Universe Mexico, and his team will lead the planning of the 73rd Miss Universe competition to be held in Mexico later in 2024. Now, I have posted this on social media, on my social media, with regards to the leak tentative date of the Miss Universe pageant, which is on November 17, with the preliminaries happening on November 14 and the national costume show on November 15. Okay, it is expected that the candidates will be arriving in Mexico on November 4 to 6. Ahead of the pageant competition. Now, what does the highlighted snippet of the press release mean? It means that the organization is co-owned, meaning it's a 50-50 split, and at the same time, it is still a privately owned brand. It's still a privately owned pageant, wherein JKN Legacy is the company where the Miss Universe organization will now be under. So, ibig sabihin nito, hindi na siya under JKN Global, but it's going to be in a new privately held company, which means that there are certain protections, legal protections on the Miss Universe brand, so that if magkaroon man ng problema financially ang JKN, hindi siya masyadong affected yung Miss Universe organization because it's under a separate na privately held company. Okay? So, again, this also ensures the financial health of the Miss Universe organization. Now, one of the things that is explicitly mentioned in the press release is the new leadership that will happen with the Miss Universe organization. So let me read yung highlights na yon. Miss Universe announces that Olivia Quidoco will take on the role of Vice President for Global Partnerships, focusing on implementing and expanding mission-driven work and corporate social responsibility around the world. She will also be working with Miss Universe's many franchise partners and national directors in the nearly 100 countries who are part of the program, as well as corporate sponsors and partners. Quidoco remains the CEO and president of the Miss Universe Skincare and Spa. Mario Bocaro has also joined the team as Vice President of Internal Relations to be based in Mexico City. The leadership team will also include Carlos Martinez, Vice President of Finance, Jose Castillo, Vice President of Operations, and Mauro... sorry. Sorry about that. Okay. And Mauricio Rocha, Vice President of Legal. So, ibig sabihin nito, there are changes in the organizational structure of the Miss Universe organization with Miss Olivia, Miss O, spearheading the corporate social responsibility of the Miss Universe brand. So, ang mangyayari nito, kakausapin ng mga sponsors, ng mga national directors si Miss O when it comes to yung mga outreach ng mga programs that is going to be partnered with the Miss Universe winner. So whether these are corporate sponsorships, I think there is a hand wherein Miss O is going to be part of the discussions with all of these business partners and sponsors. Aside from that, she also has maintains yung position niya as the president of the Miss Universe Skincare and Spa, which also means that if in case that the Miss Universe organization wants to expand and explore other possibilities outside the US and Asia for the Miss Universe Skincare and Spa, they can now have headquarters in Mexico to handle businesses in countries like Colombia, Venezuela, Brazil, and other North and Latin American countries to expand the business. The same thing as there is a Bangkok na headquarters to deal with opportunities in the Philippines, in Thailand, in Indonesia, and other countries with regards to expanding the business, the Miss Universe skincare business in other parts of the world. So yun yung binabangkit ko with the bigger reach and business growth and opportunities for the brand. It means that there is something that the Miss Universe organization can benefit from in terms of yung mga business partnership nito, in terms of yung merger ng two owners to manage the Miss Universe brand all over the world. Now, here's the thing that is very quite ominous in the Miss Universe press release. If you can read through doon sa kanilang press release on the Miss Universe website, it says here that the Miss Universe will remain a private corporation based in the United States. The overall direction of the media property will remain unchanged, including rule changes and eligibility requirements. So, if you are hoping, if you're one of the fans that are hoping that they would scrap the changes on the transgender rule with regards to married mothers, divorcees, and pregnant women being able to join the pageant, and the scrapping of the age limits, and return to minimum maximum age limits for the Miss Universe pageant, that's not gonna happen because it specifically states so in the Miss Universe press release. It also says that the corporate headquarters will be based in Mexico City. Digital, social media, and communications will come out of New York, and the Thai branch will be responsible for in-house content and production. So, ibig sabihin nito, there is different headquarters when it comes to different aspects of the Miss Universe organization. It means that the corporate headquarters will now be based in Mexico City and it's no longer in New York. Ang maiiwan na lang sa New York is yung digital and social media and communications na tawag ito na aspect of managing the brand. It means that the the main brain of the Miss Universe brand is now moved to Mexico and Bangkok. So ito ngayon yung reality that we have to face. It also means that the what do you call this? The management largely of the Miss Universe Miss Universe brand is now moving outside New York City. So this also means that there is a possibility that since this was in place, this was being negotiated even before the Miss Universe pageant in El Salvador, it can be that this is one of the reasons why Paula Shugart resigned from the Miss Universe organization. Aside from, the obvious, shade that she was throwing in her speech, it could also mean that some or a number of the people who is working at the Miss Universe organization do not want to uproot their lives and move to Mexico City. And therefore, we can expect that a lot of people who's going to be managing the brand is going to be either Mexican or Thai Thai people, being that the organization is now headquartered at Mexico and Bangkok. It also means that whoever left is in New York City is going to probably be the social media team, the one who is going to manage the press releases, manage the YouTube accounts, social media accounts of the Miss Universe organization. So that is most likely the scenario where, or why rather, some, if not most, members of the organization chose to leave because it's hindi ganun kadali yung choice na you move cross country and move to another country and start your and start over again with creating a life there. So hindi ganun kadali yung tawag ito, yung decision na yon. And maintindihan ko if some people who has been in the Miss Universe organization decided not to move to Mexico City. Now, here's another thing. Here's the continuation of the press release. Okay, Shanice Palacios, the 2023 Miss Universe title holder, will continue to be based in New York City, where she fulfills her duty as a global ambassador and mental health advocate. So, hindi lang ang social media ang maiiwan sa New York City, but also the Miss Universe will still retain her her apartment, the Miss Universe apartment at the headquarters in NYC. The thing now that is different from the previous na mga editions of the Miss Universe pageant is that Shanice will have to live alone and would not cohabitate will not have a roommate like it was in, let's say, in 2018 or in 2019, because nowadays the Miss USA winners and Miss Teen USA winners is now based in California, if I'm not mistaken. While Shanice, the Miss Universe winner, will be by herself in in New York City. So this now clearly is a change, a lot of huge changes in terms of the behind the scenes that we don't see at the Miss Universe organization. So we are now we have been hearing rumors rather that because the Miss Universe organization headquarters, the corporate headquarters, is now based in Mexico City, they are now building a they call this a museum for the Miss Universe organization that is also going to be based in Mexico City. So ibig sabihin nito, the what they call this, the Miss Universe organization, if you go and visit the organization in Mexico City, you can also visit the Miss Universe museum that is expected to house 10 rooms focusing on different decades of the Miss Universe organization. From the 50s, 60s, 70s onwards until the present time. I haven't read much with regards to that part of the press release, but so far, among those that I have read on social media, on accounts, Latin American accounts of those who participated during the press release on January 23rd, that is one of the spearheaded na mga programs that the new organization is going to build. So I believe a lot of pageant memorabilia is going to be housed in the museum, in the Miss Universe Museum, and hopefully, one day, someday, we can all visit the Miss Universe Museum. Now, let us now focus on what are the other possible implications with this new development. It means that in terms of finding perhaps the Miss Universe for 2024, she needs to be someone who can transcend both, two different markets. The market that is controlled by Raul Rocha, the market that is being headed by Kun An. It means that you really need to find a global winner who is not only marketable in Latin America, but also marketable in Asia. So she needs to be very, racially ambiguous, if there is a term for that, because she has to have the appeal that can, cater to a broader market as compared to previous years. I think that moving forward, we need to be very, mindful of that, because I think that is the only way that we can move forward. And there are some fans na who were like rejoicing that, oh, it's going to be sold to a different what do you call this, to a new owner. And I am very very scared or worried with that very narrow-minded perspective, because here's something that I was thinking with regards to the choice of having it sold to another owner. If it happens that the new owner is a Latino and owns and controls 100% the Miss Universe organization, there's a possibility or a strong likelihood that the Miss Universe organization under that person would more likely to find or look for a winner that is, appealing to the Latin market. And that leaves, how about the rest of the world? Okay, so that is one of the worries that I have. So when I heard that the Miss Universe organization is going to be split between two owners, one from North America and Latin America, and one from Asia and the rest of Europe and Africa, I felt that now I think there is a more balanced way of finding a marketable winner for the organization. That does not mean that one is over the other or one has more preferential treatment than the other. So I am quite glad that it's a 50-50 split, because if it happened that it's going to be, it's going to be owned by, let's say, purely from a particular, particular group, we might not have, the counterbalance that we probably need for the Miss Universe pageant. Not that I'm saying that, Latinos are more favorable among for their compatriots, but that can be said the same thing for Asians. So if it's an Asian owned na pageant, it might be biased towards Asians. If it's a Latin owned pageant, it might be, biased for Latinas. And sometimes there are this, unchecked and unnoticeable, personal biases that we might have, that sometimes we are not totally aware of it. So I think having an Asian and Latino co-manage and co-own the pageant would be a good way of having, a good balance between the East and the West. Okay? Okay, so let's read some comments here. Jam Amihan says, although assumption ko lang ito, if 16 million US dollars nabili ni Raul Rocha ang 50% ng Miss Universe, baka ang possibly ay baka 4 million USD or higher ang franchise ng MU Mexico, which is very good move since 100 ang balik kay Ann. Jam, on my end, I don't think it works that way, but maybe I am wrong. For me, what I'm looking at is that she bought the Miss Universe organization for $20 million. And then she sold half of the shares for 16 million, which means that there is a huge Latin market waiting for Miss Universe. That's simply that. Ganun lang kasimple. That's simply how, the math works and what the math indicates. It means that the Latinos have money when it comes to, investing for the Miss Universe brand. And that means that it is a good business perspective. It's a good business opportunity for the Miss Universe organization to invest on the Latin market. This also means that, on my interpretation, in the next several years, we will be seeing a lot more Latina winners in the Miss Universe circle, whether it's in the top 5, top 3, or the main winner herself, because they need the representation. If you're going to grow a business or the market in Latin America, then you need representation in that market as well, so that mainganyo yung mga tao to buy from the product or service that you're offering. So in the next several years, I think that it's going to be a very competitive atmosphere at Miss Universe, that if the Philippines and Asia or Africa or even Europe does not step up their game, they might lose, opportunities to make it into the semis. So it's simple as that. I think in terms of the business perspective of the organization, it only shows that the Latinos are willing to spend for the Miss Universe brand, and therefore opportunities, there are growth opportunities in the Latin American market. We all know that when it comes to pageantry, the only two markets that really invests on pageantry is Asia and Latin America. So we really have to, start looking at this from a business perspective, rather than, just pulling anything out of thin air that suits our narrative. Okay, Papa Turon is here. Sabi niya, MI really need to step up, otherwise kakainin na naman sila ng Miss Universe. I don't want Madame Halu, but Miss Universe is in a better position now, to be honest. The presence in Latin America is a big strategic move. Also, aren't we talking about MU so much more now than ever? Panalo din si Halu. I think, okay, unahin natin si Miss International. Miss International, I think there is a market for it. They just need to be able to advertise, or rather market themselves, and strengthen their hold on their market. I think Miss International has been, in terms of growth, has been in a very slow pace, but at least there is growth I think that is important. I also think that the Miss International pageant needs to, constantly and always to keep their ears on the ground and look for developments and look for changes in attitudes, in the social atmosphere, so that they are able to, pivot when necessary, so that they still remain relevant, because there's a lot of competition now, because of so many pageants that has essentially, grown over the past 10 years. So they need to be competitive. They need to make sure that they don't lose ground on other, other pageants. Just looking at what's happening with Miss World, na postpone ng postpone. Nobody is now really giving too much attention with Miss World, because they felt that, it didn't really do something when they needed their presence to be felt. So I think overall, pageants nowadays needs to constantly reinvent themselves to be relevant to the social atmosphere that is, permeating predominantly. Okay? With regards naman with Miss Universe has always been very controversial. Has always, banked on controversy for social media clout, for presence. And I think that is the reason why last year, there's no other pageant that came close to the interest on Google Trends among the four pageants, among the major international pageants that had their, pageants last year. So, let's now go to Going Popcorn. Sabi niya, late, pero present pa din. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Kahit na late na, Going Popcorn kang dumating. May replay button naman, so I do hope na you check that out a little bit later. Art Laurent is here. Sabi niya, Hola, friend. I hope walang mga sexual harassment na mangyari sa pagpasok officially as co-owner ng MUO. I also hope that there's always been a worry kapag lalaki yung owner ng pageant, but knowing, the people inside the organization, they will try as much as possible to make it as clean as possible, because they don't want any, issues of mistreatment of candidates or of co-workers in the organization. Okay, sabi ni Papa Turon, sabay pa naman din ang Miss International at Miss U halos this year. Yes. Miss Universe is going to, well, it's not yet confirmed, but Miss Universe is allegedly going to have their finals on November 17, while the Miss International pageant is going to have their finals on November 12. So it's just a matter of 5 days. And there's a major overlap in terms of their schedules. I do hope that the Miss International would move their finals a little bit earlier. But if naikasana nila yung November 12, then wala na tayong magagawa. Okay, so, there's more comments coming in. Okay, Jam Amihan. Sabi niya, is it possible na lesser-known Latin country ang manalo or pumasok sa top 5? For me, excited ako since marami din potential ang mga candidates sa mga lesser-known Latin countries kahit these past years. There is a huge possibility of that, especially if there will be more Latino judges in the selection panel. But I do hope that they find a good balance in terms of selecting judges for Miss Universe, because they need to go global in terms of the people that they invite into the selection committee. I think that there should be enough representation for North and South America, the Caribbean, Africa, Europe, and Asia. So I do hope that all continents are well represented on the judging table, so that there is diversity in ethnicity. I hope that there's also diversity in thought and in backgrounds, as well as in perspectives. Okay. Dumadami na ang mga nagko-comment. Okay, where did we end? We ended with Jam Amihan. I think we're now with John Snow 79. Sabi niya, hi Jason. With what happened, what do you think what will happen to Philippine reps? Halu is indebted kay Miss O since Raul is originally the business partner of Miss O. Hindi mag-i-invest si Raul kung wala si Miss O. I am not sure with that, but I do hope that in terms of possibility na pumasok ang Pilipinas among the semi-finalists, I do hope na luck plays a part this year, especially this year that the pageant is happening in Mexico, because in the 4 years the Miss Universe has been hosted in Mexico, the Philippines never made it into that semi-finalists. So whoever is going to represent the Philippines in Mexico this year, she really needs to work it, because we never really made any dent in the competition. Teresa Licaros did not make semis. Dindy Gallardo did not make semis. And in the 80s and 70s that Mexico hosted the pageant, we did not even make a dent at all. So hanggang hagip-hagip lang ng camera ang Pilipinas. So we really need to find a strong candidate who is overall, a good representative for the Philippines. And for me, currently, between some of the pronounced na mga official candidates for MUPH, I still think that Alexi Brooks is still, the girl that ticks off a lot of the boxes. Last year, when I had a discussion with Mark Sobrajahani, we both agreed that Michelle was perfect as Miss Universe Philippines on paper, while Pauline was, on principle, should have won Miss Universe PH in terms of performance during the Miss Universe Philippines finals night. However, because Michelle has a more compelling backstory, she has a more physical, because she has a body that is more fit with the Miss Universe, what the Miss Universe is looking for, as well as advocacy work that could work well with the Miss Universe organization. I think Michelle was the perfect candidate based on resume, based on paper, to be sent at Miss Universe over Pauline. So now, looking at the background ni Alexi, she has the background, she has the height, she has the physical goods. In terms of styling, pwedeng ayusin. If a lot of people have been pointing that her Zozibini styling is not going to work for her at Miss Universe, that can be remedied. Pwedeng magwig, pwedeng gumamit ng extensions. There's a lot of things that you can do in terms of looks, in terms of styling, in terms of hair and makeup. So I am not worried about that. In terms of interest with her story, from being a palengke vendor to a national athlete, to a SEA Games athlete, there's a lot of things that you can mine for her Miss Universe campaign should she win Miss Universe Philippines. And it would be very interesting to have the first Black Filipina representative at Miss Universe, because we haven't had someone of Alexis' skin tone represent the country at the Miss Universe pageant. So there is a lot of buzz that can be created with regards to that. Especially now that the Miss Universe organization is a champion for diversity. Looking at the top 20 of the Miss Universe 2023 pageant, you can see that the first Pakistani to join Miss Universe made semis. The first plus size Miss Nepal made semis. The first transgender to make semis is Miss Portugal. So in terms of diversity and representation, I think shoe in si Alexi in terms of that. Plus, marami nagsasabi na facial wise hindi naman siya ganun kaganda. But then again, you had Zoe Bini, who a lot of pageant fans felt that she's not the typically facially beautiful Miss Universe of the past, and yet she won Miss Universe. So that's not an impossibility. And also, Alexi is quite tall. Looking at my research on her height, she's actually around 5'9" or 5'10" in terms of height. With some tweaks on the styling, she can even look taller. So that is something that still can be can be trained, or that still can be adjusted throughout preparations prior to Miss Universe in November. So if the Miss Universe Philippines is going to have their finals on either April or May, I think that would be more than enough time for her, to prepare for Miss Universe in November. But granted lang na around April or May dapat makoronahan na ang Miss Universe Philippines, because unlike Binibining Pilipinas, Binibining Pilipinas is going to crown, let's say, a Binibining Pilipinas International who's going to compete next year. So there's no point in rushing the Binibining Pilipinas pageant, unlike Miss Universe Philippines. An extra 3 to 4 weeks is going to be very helpful for whoever is chosen as Miss Universe Philippines if she's competing and leaving around November for Miss Universe in Mexico. Okay? Dansom SNJHSM says, Sir Jess, on the other side of the coin, any national pageant news this 2024, Binibining Pilipinas, MUPH, NPE, parang walang paggalaw. Okay, in terms of Miss Universe Philippines, siya lang yung naririnig natin ng what do you call this? Ng mga bali-balita. Simply because the regional and the citywide down to the barangay level na Miss Universe Philippines nagpo-post ng mga updates. However, with Binibining Pilipinas, what we've been hearing at is that nagbe-brainstorm na yung mga taong involved with the pageant. And from what I heard, if the pageant budget for Binibining Pilipinas 2023 was around 8 million pesos, there's a possibility na mas mataas or baka dumoble pa yung budget nila for the 60th edition of the Binibining Pilipinas pageant this year. I've also been hearing, that gusto nilang maging 60 candidates ang Binibining Pilipinas this year. So I don't know how is that going to play about, because so far ang naririnig ko is wala pang concrete na date kung kailan sila maglalabas ng announcement for applications. So let's wait and see kung anong mangyayari on that end. In terms naman sa Miss Philippines Earth, MPE has already posted on their socials that nag-start na sila for applications. It didn't necessarily say kung kailan yung deadline. However, the applications has begun around several weeks ago. So let me just double check kung ano yung date na nakalagay doon sa
applications schedule nila, but I think it was already posted in their Facebook and in their Instagram pages ng Miss Phil Earth. So if you want to check yung kanilang mga socials, please do, dahil I think the details are there. Medyo mabagal lang kasi mag-load yung aking sorry, yung aking laptop, so I couldn't see yung start date ng applications, but definitely the applications for Miss Philippines Earth have already begun. Okay, excuse me. Oh, okay, itong mahirap pag Makati ang lalamunan. Okay, so okay, I think I posted it like last week, yung announcement. They started the application period at around January 20, I think it's 19 or 20. So ayun. Let's move on to other comments. Going Popcorn says, so parang Miss USA system. Okay, wait. No. Since may provincial pageant na for MUPH, it means na di ka na makapag-represent sa national once na makapag-province title ka na, unless mag-compete ka sa ibang province, win or be appointed. Or maybe, like for example, if there's a city there, baka pwede kang i-appoint on that or win on yung city na. Kasi medyo magulo kasi ang MUPH eh. Unlike in the US where you have to compete at the state level, here in the Philippines for MUPH, pwedeng yung isang town or isang city or isang province would have a ticket to the nationals. So it kinda is a little bit confusing on that end. But if in case na, for example, let's say you want to represent, let's say, Bulacan. So, there's a possibility na may mag-ari ng isang franchise ng MUPH sa isa sa mga town or cities ng Bulacan, and iba pa yung may-ari ng buong province ng Bulacan. So, if natapos mo nang i-represent ang Bulacan as province, maybe you can represent Bulacan again, but with one of those cities or towns in the province na may franchise sa MUPH. So I'm not really sure how does that work, because it's kind of confusing, but maybe that would give you maybe at least 1 or 2 shots at the nationals from that kind of system. Okay, going back to sa comment ni Going Popcorn, so parang Miss USA system, nakakaloka lang yung pati municipality, may regional titles. Sana all 82 provinces na lang ng Pinas. OA for me yung pati municipality or city kasama pa. I kind of agree. It makes it a little bit more confusing that way. Jamamihan says, for me maganda yung diversity ng MU 2007 noon sa Mexico. Napasali rin si Tanzania na Bald Queen, which is quite different from that time. Then 2 Asians nakapasok sa top 5. Pero sana makapasok PH this 2024. Sabi ni Going Popcorn, oo nga sir, malas tayo sa Miss Universe kapag Mexico ang nag-host. I also remember Sarah Jane Paez in Cancun in 1989. Yes, I think Sarah Jane was within the top 20 during that year. But during that time, only top 12 lang or top 10 yung kinukuha. So, kinda narrow yung spots back then. Going back to Jamamihan, kay Alexi Brooks, I am seeing more of a Leila Lopez than Zozzy. Sana ma-achieve yung ganong vibe with superb styling, pack na pack siya. I agree, because sayang yung 5'9" na height. And sayang din yung you will be labeled as the first Black Filipina representative of the Philippines at Miss Universe. So, di ba, parang there is something na may hugot. There's something more that she can offer. than most other, candidates, because may kwento eh. There's a story, there's a backstory. May hugot yung kwento ni Alexi Brooks, and that for me would something that can easily be, a shoe-in for the semifinalists. And at this point in time, makasemis muna tayo. Yun yung yun yung pinaka-importanteng part dahil nung ko tayong nag-semis kapag Mexico. So, masungkit natin yung semis. It's just easier to make it into the top 10, top 5. Rather than if you are a group of candidates na 89 or 90 or 95 na magpapatayan sa 20 na spots. So, mas marami kang patutumbahin in that sense. So, mas kinakailangan na yung energies, make it to semis first before what am I going to do kapag nasa semis na ako and makapag top 10, makapag top 5. So, take it by stage. Going Popcorn says, paano yan sir? Si Atisa, official MUPH Quezon na. Parang nagkatotoo yung revelation mo dati. Pero for me, pang Miss International or Miss World ang vibe niya and not for soon Latina Bardagulan MU in NX. Again, I will reiterate that for me, I think Alexi is a better option than Atisa. And I know, maraming mga fans ni Atisa yung nagalit or nag-react with what I said. And I think there was even, some of her fans that says na bakit kinakailangang ikumpara yung dalawa. First is, I did not compare. I just simply said my piece that I think Alexi was a better choice for Miss Universe Philippines than Atisa. Wala akong sinabing anything regarding Atisa in that statement. It's just that some snowflakes na mga fans felt that was a triggering na statement. And unfortunately, I think it only exposes how threatened they are with someone like Alexi Brooks na mas may kwento, mas may hugot when it comes to life's story that has more, that has achieved more. Not only at a national level, but as an athlete competing at the Southeast Asian Games. And if I'm not mistaken, heptathlon, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Heptathlon, yung sports niya, which is not just one sport, but it's a group of different sports merged into one. So, having that kind of discipline, that kind of mental fortitude, that kind of focus would definitely serve her as Miss Universe Philippines if she is chosen as Miss Universe Philippines. And I am hoping that she gets to be chosen as Miss Universe Philippines. Although I cannot, remove the fact na mukhang anointed one nga si Atisa dahil yung mga previous associations niya with the current owners of the Miss Universe Philippines na franchise. But I do hope that everything is going to be fair, na walang luto ang mangyari, na it would be a smooth sailing competition for everyone, that we have a equitable, fair, honest na competition, so that we select the best girl for Miss Universe later on. Okay, Jira Bago says, contestants in the US does the same. If you are not successful in getting a crown in one state, you can relocate to another state. Danny Walker from California to Montana. Contestants in... okay, yun na yun. Sabi ni Going Popcorn, excited na ako ano ang niluluto or pakulo ng 60th Binibining Pilipinas. Patsaan naman ng info, sir, baka meron, like new crown, I wish. Parang may mga ginagawa ata silang clip or shoot for the production. For now, what I can say is that may nagbabalak na bumalik, but if this year or next year, hindi ko pa masabi for sure. I do know that for the 60th na anniversary, um, maglalabas ang Araneta ng pera. I think yun yung pinaka-safe na pwede kong sabihin. Kasi, unlike may isang, kasi in the other, I've learned in the past that there are some big national pageants na ang budget nila for the entire year is 10 million pesos. That also includes daw yung franchise fees and etc. for their national pageant. Ang Binibining Pilipinas, yung budget for the pageant itself, the 3-month pageant itself, hindi buong taon, is 8 million last year. So, ibig sabihin nito, may pera, kayang magsunog ng pera ang BPCI. And that comes when you are part of a conglomerate like the Araneta group of companies. So, I think for me, we can expect that there will be a glossy na finals. Aminin natin, maliwanag, walang aberya, ang ganda ng stage. You see, like floor to ceiling na LEDs during the Binibining Pilipinas stage in 2023. Maayos yung mga performers. Pag tinignan mo yung mga judges that they selected for Binibining Pilipinas, they are very well accomplished judges at hindi yung friendly ganito, friendly ganyan na upong judge doon sa finals. So, Binibining Pilipinas always, operates on a different kind of level when it comes to producing their national pageants. So we're expecting that for this year, it will remain the same in terms of yung budget and yung in terms of yung production ng pageant. In terms of the crowns, I am not yet sure kasi wala pa akong naririnig kung may bago. Ang naririnig ko lang is may gustong bumalik. And babalik siya either this year or next year. So hanggang dun lang yung info na kaya kong i-share sa inyo dahil hanggang dun lang yung info na alam ko at this point in time. So I think the best thing that we can do is just wait and see dahil very tight-lipped ang Binibining Pilipinas ngayon. They are very, how to say this? Kumbaga nag-iingat sila na walang mag-leak na information. At maingat sila dahil alam mong may pakulo sila. Malaki yung pakulo nila for Binibining Pilipinas 60th anniversary edition this year. Malay mo, baka sa finals night, meron silang i-announce na major announcement later on, di ba? Okay, nasaan na ba tayo? Sabi ni Going Popcorn, atisa sila ng atisa, tapos ending si Madam Jocelyn Cobales ng QC ang manalo. Boom! You know what? That would be, a conversation starter if si Miss Jocelyn ang manalo. I think that would definitely create buzz. And if it does, I think Miss Universe is going to, milk it for what it's worth. So, why not? If media mileage ang pag-uusapan, for sure, I think si Miss Jocelyn would definitely give us that. It would give us, the coverage on social media, on traditional media, and I think that would really, shake things up for the Miss Universe Philippines organization. Okay? Nasa na ba tayo? Sabi ni Beauty Critic, good evening, Jason. Nakahabol. Good evening, everyone. Cheers. Magandang gabi. We're actually at the tail end na of our live stream. So, bibilisan na natin yung mga comments. Okay? Papa Turan says, si Atisa ang flag bearer ng Aces and Queens nung BBP 2018. Alagang-alaga siya ni Jonas at Mamaru. Si Atisa is like, Pau, super love natin, pero di talaga siya MU mode. Super happy na ako sa MI niya. Okay, Papa Turon, let me correct that because during 2018, ang finifeed ng tawag ito, ang finifeed na flag bearer ng ACES was actually Aya Adesamis and Michelle Gumabaw, not Atisa. Nabiglan lang siya ng atensyon noong nanalo na siyang Binibining Pilipinas International. So, yon. Nasa na ba tayo? Jam Amihan says, although hindi ako nag-expect ng mataas sa mapipiling Miss Universe winner, top 3 material si Alexi sa looks at advocacy if manalo sa NUPH. This reminds me of Mariah na sports din and advocacy. John Snow says, excited for BBP 60th anniversary. Hope to see again the parade of the former queens like nung BBP silver and gold anniversaries. Sana maayos talaga production nila, mala Miss France with previous winners na nasa stage. Ashton says, hindi na kailangan ng PH ang ingay para mapag-usapan sa Miss U. That being said, kahit hindi senior citizen ang mag-represent sa MU, pag-uusapan pa rin ang candidate natin. Going Popcorn says, at ang guest performers ng BBP hindi pa ulit-ulit na kumakanta taon-taon ng Show It to the Universe. Hello, Jessica Sanchez. Grabe ka naman, Going Popcorn. I think, in terms siguro of showmanship, medyo ayos-ayusin nila kasi yung hindi nakaka-elevate yung solid gold dancers nung evening gown competition ba nila nung last year, or yung ang dilim-dilim ng stage, or napapatayan sila ng ilaw, or napapatayan ng ang audience ng ilaw, or even their audio na may problema. And especially naman yung top 18 na naging top 10 na naging top 18, I think ayusin nila yung production nila, because this is going to be their last year na mag-hold ng franchise. Kinakailangan gandahan naman nila, di ba? Ash then says, let's be honest, kahit na sinong elderly ang ihalo sa beauty pageant will most likely become the butt of the joke. Let's save them from bashing. Okay, so last thing that I want to discuss is yung tawag nito is yung mga kumakalat na chismis with regards to national directors joining the Miss Universe pageant. One of those is Catherine Espin. I think napag-usapan na natin siya, napiga na natin on social media yung topic na to, but I still want to reiterate that in order for her not to be seen, to be seen more as a very professional person handling the Miss Earth Ecuador organization, I think she should resign, or at least temporarily resign her position as president and national director, have the reins, held by the vice president for the time being, then pursue Miss Universe Ecuador. So that it just looks good on paper, because the optics really is not going to be in her favor with this one, because it will only make the Miss Earth organization or the Miss Earth Ecuador national directorship look like a Consuelo de Bobo kapag hindi siya nanalong Miss Universe Ecuador, because the Miss Universe Ecuador is not going to be an easy, competition. You have Nadia Mejia and one who is a Miss Grand International alum competing at or nag-screen for Miss Universe Ecuador. So the crown is never a guarantee. Much like Antonia in NUT earlier last year. So I think just to make it look like it's a very well-handled situation, she should just resign her position as Miss Earth Ecuador National Director and President, have someone temporarily, assume the reins before taking back the position if in case, she wins or loses the pageant. If she wins, then finish her reign as Miss Universe Ecuador and then go back to it after. So that it just looks, clean. And with regards naman dun sa mga fans, mga Latino fans, I think there are some of them that are joking with Magali Febles to join, Miss Universe because of, an Argentinian actress who is like 79 years old. And now we have Miss Joyce Covales joining Miss Universe under the MU Quezon City na pageant. My take on this is that if you are already someone who's handling a professional directorship of a national or a regional na pageant, weigh in first before you join because you have more to lose than you can gain from the experience. I think that joining Miss Universe is not something that you do on a whim. So whether the final choice is to join or to not join, that is a decision that only you can do, that is yours to take, but also be emotionally prepared and mentally, physically prepared for the rigorous, requirements of joining a pageant. So, yun lang. I don't have any qualms if a divorcee, if a senior citizen joins Miss Universe. Just be mentally prepared, for the battle that is coming ahead, because it's not going to be easy. Okay? Last few comments from everyone here in the chat box. Fortita says, Susme, sinong natrauma sa Santolan Station during MUPH evening gown? Tapos, laughing emoji. Well, hopefully, hindi na natin ma-experience ulit yun. Hopefully, mag-level up yung pageant this year. Going Popper says, I agree, sir. I'm disappointed with the spin. As an ME fan since 2021, sana talaga Venezuela's Stephanie Dizorzi na lang ang nanalo noon. She's my bet and at that time, plus she's relevant until now in social media. And ang Diyosa kasi ng batch ng Miss Venezuela's who won in 2013. If you're gonna look back, pag pinagtabi mo si Migbelis and si Stephanie, hindi nalalayo yung ganda. I've seen them both in person, and I can really say that yung batch din na Migbelis, yung silang dalawa, si Stephanie at saka ni Migbelis, wala kang masabi when it comes to beauty of face talaga. However, sometimes it's not meant to be, and I think that Stephanie really was a great choice for Miss Earth, pero it's just that maybe Lady Luck was not for her. So, yun. Sabi ni Jamamihan, okay, honestly, hindi talaga maganda ang optics kay Catherine. Ayan na naman, sorry. Sorry. Okay, honestly, sabi ni Jamamihan, hindi talaga maganda ang optics kay Catherine Espin. Miss Earth kasi is a major pageant na. Pero ask ko lang po if Ecuador now is possible frontrunner for the next MU edition. Okay, basahin ko muna, Jamamihan, yung susunod mong comment before I answer that question. PS po, medyo confused lang po. Maybe panoorin ko ulit live ni Tita Lavinia regarding pagsali sa MUPH. May idea po kayo kung sasali si Tita Lavinia sa MUPH? Okay, nako, jump on yan. Isa-isahin natin. Okay, UK Catherine Espin. Nasaan na ba yan? Kung Ecuador is a possible frontrunner for the next MU edition. I think if they're gonna crown Nadia Mejia, yes. I think right now, there are like 2 crossovers from MGI, and then you have Nadia Mejia, and then you have Catherine Espin. I think Catherine Espin is gaining more traction simply because she is a Miss Earth alum and a former Miss Earth winner. I also think that kapag pinagtabi-tabi mo sila, it will be performance-based. That is going to be, the deciding factor. And right now, because I have seen yung competitiveness na ni Nadia Mejia at Miss USA in, I think it was in 2016 ba o 2017. I am a little bit more biased towards her because if you're looking at the Miss Earth competition na sinalihan ni Catherine Espin, napakaiksi nung rampa ng mga Miss Earth candidates in the finals. So, I don't think that would be a enough gauge for me to say na in terms of performance, kayang sapawan ni Catherine si Nadia. So, I think in that sense, gusto ko munang makita yung improvements nilang dalawa pareho when it comes to the, what do you call this? When it comes to the performance aspect of the competition. With regards naman kay Tita Lavinia, I haven't talked to her for a month now, since Christmas. Medyo naging busy kami nitong sa mga personal lives namin. We haven't had a chance to chit-chat and meet each other over the past 6 or 7 weeks na. But if in case na in the line, somewhere along the line, she wants to give it a shot, then laban tayo dyan. I'm not going to be the person who will say na, hindi siya pwede, or hindi ka pwede, or hindi ako pwede na sumali sa ganito or ganyan. That is a personal choice that you are going to have to consider on your own. And dahil kaibigan natin si Tita Lavinia, we will be supporting her with whatever, endeavor that she wants to pursue. Okay? Going Popcorn says, bigger na ang platform ni Espin, nabigyan na ng chance to take the brand higher and change the lives of fellow countrywomen, yet she chooses to go to MU. For me, her goal talaga is not for the Earth. Whatever her reasons for joining Miss Earth, I do hope that she takes into consideration, yung position niya as a national director, because that is the only thing that gives me like a pause with her participation in MU Ecuador. Because if you are national director, I think just for professionalism's sake, you have to resign your Miss Earth directorship and ownership of the presidency, the Miss Earth Ecuador organization, so that when you compete at Miss Universe, you have your full attention at the competition ahead, and not rally back and forth between your duties as either national director and your and the things that you need to do as a candidate for Miss Universe Ecuador. Okay? Nasaan na ba tayo? Rowan Santa Maria, sabi niya, bonjour, Sir Jason. Happy to finally join a live for the first time in months. Looking forward to your perspective from France. Okay, Rowan, we're actually winding towards the end of our live stream na. Team replay ka na lang with regards to, some of the topics that we've had discussed. But when it comes naman dun sa mga developments later on, I think marami pa tayong pag-uusapan because if I'm not mistaken, in 2 days' time, Antonia will be visiting the Philippines. So she might be here in the country, and we might be talking about that in the next live stream on Saturday. Okay? Michelle Rai says, hindi siya sasali, charot-charot lang yung live niya. Okay. Going Popcorn says, sana lang si Drita will not follow Espin in the future. Delicadeza speaks a lot about you as a person. Correction, fan ako, sir, ng ME since 2001. Kaya heartbreaking for me yung kay Espin. Sabi ni Going Popcorn. Okay, Michelle Ree, I think yung charot-charot lang is that Tita Lavinia, yung pagsali sa Miss MUPH. Honestly, if she does, she will have my support. Whether it's joking lang or hindi, or seryoso, The thing kasi is, because this is an opportunity, this is a wide opportunity made available for different kinds of women in terms of age, in terms of height, taken this an opportunity that it might be an opportunity for you, 'di ba? Wala nang ang height requirements, wala nang age requirements, 'di ba? So, if this is something that you're passionate about, then go and pursue your dreams. I don't think, people who are saying na tawag ito, who are saying na hindi ka dapat sumali dahil you're not a prototype, you will never know until you've tried. So, may mga national organizations naman na pipili bago ka makarating sa Miss Universe. So, if the national organizations feel that you're not the right person for the job, then, at least you've tried. So, that's what I can say with regards to, like, Miss Joyce Cubales na at the age 69, nangarap na maging beauty queen. So, these are things that, for me at this point in time, parang since it's okayed by the Miss Universe organization, so sino naman tayo para ipagbawal na, ay hindi, bawal, huwag kang sumali, hindi ka pwedeng sumali. Di ba? Parang it doesn't make sense. Okay, wait, nasa na ba tayo? The beauty critic says, Atisa plus Lola Cubales plus Tita Lavinia. Wow, that's a real show. Honestly, you're really good, Jason. Take care of your voice and your health. Grateful here. Medyo I'm at the tail end of a cough. Last week, kaya hindi ako nakapag-live stream last week kasi nag-start na akong umubo, and I was kind of a little bit worried na baka lumala yung sakit ko. But I think on the mend na tayo. So thank you for the concern. The beauty critique, I am hoping na by next week cleared na at hindi na ako masyado na trigger ng ubo. And I also want everyone to be mindful of their health kasi this is the time where nagbabago yung panahon. The season is changing, so cold air is now coming in from the north going to the rest of the country. So yung malamig na hangin na nanggagaling sa winter ng China, Japan and Korea is now moving towards the Pacific, towards the Philippines. So yung warm air na we've experienced over December and November, nagbabago na, nagpapalit na. So because of the changing of the seasons, this is also the time where flu, coughs, and sore throats are becoming more common. So ingatan natin ang mga sarili natin. Let's always take meds, supplements, vitamins to help us combat yung mga sakit na pumapasok sa pagpapalit ng panahon. Okay? Okay. Last question. Sabi ni Fortita, Sir, so hindi na Empire or si Shamsi ang may hawak ng MUPH. Sila pa rin ang may hawak this year. Okay? I think that's it. We've covered everything that we've sought out to cover and discuss in this evening's live stream. Pasensya na kung umabot na naman ng 1 hour and 30 minutes yung ating live stream. I was hoping na under an hour or under an hour and 15 minutes lang tayo. But thank you very much for everyone who joined in and participated in our live stream this evening. Before we end, I do request everyone na please follow us on our YouTube account and on our socials. Subscribe to our channel. Leave a like, a thumbs up on our live stream para mag-grow yung ating channel. And see you again next week. Please make sure na please stay tuned on our socials because there will be some changes that I will be doing in terms of our Instagram coverages starting February. Okay? So that's it. And thank you very much for everyone. Bye and do take care. See you next week. Okay. Gumalaw na.